Are we losing the AI race before it even truly begins? I'm not talking about algorithms or data sets. I'm talking about the hardware, the very chips that power the AI revolution. And a shocking amount of them are ending up in the wrong hands. How can we compete when our most advanced technology is being funneled directly to our rivals? The stakes are higher than you think. This isn't just about business. It's about national security. New reports expose that the Chinese Communist Party or their military are busy designing weapons using large arrays of chips. Even just working on artificial intelligence, which is as immediate as nuclear technology. It's a problem now, and we need to act fast. Enter U.S. Representative Bill Foster. This isn't some politician grandstanding. Foster is a particle physicist who understands the intricacies of chip design. He's proposing a bill that could fundamentally change how we track and control the export of advanced AI chips. This bill has two key elements: to track advanced semiconductor chips to ensure they are being used where authorized, to prevent chips from being used if they are not properly licensed under export controls. Foster's bill would require the U.S. Department of Commerce to design new regulations mandating tracking technology within 6 months. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a mandate with a ticking clock. The core of the issue is that already imposed export restrictions are being circumvented through illegal smuggling activities, which are occurring on a large scale. What's really interesting is the bipartisan support this bill is already receiving. Democratic Representative Raja Krishnamurti calls on-chip location verification a creative solution. Republican Representative John Molinar says the Select Committee has strong bipartisan support for requiring companies like NVIDIA to build location tracking into their high-powered AI chips. This isn't a partisan issue. It's a consensus that something needs to be done. Both sides of the aisle recognize the urgency and the potential threat, and that's rare in today's political climate. Now, that bipartisan support already exists for this bill. As well as the numerous actions taken by various administrations, it is likely that these efforts to control chip exports will only continue to grow as the race for more advanced AI continues. So, how would this tracking actually work? The good news is the technology already exists. Experts say much of it is already built into NVIDIA's chips. Think about it: GPS tracking for your phone, location services for apps. The same principles can be applied to these chips. The technology for verifying the location of chips would rely on the chips communicating with a secured computer server that would use the length of time it takes for the signal to reach the server to verify where chips are, a concept that relies on knowing that computer signals move at the speed of light. The chips would communicate with a secured computer server, using the time it takes for the signal to travel to verify location. It's not about pinpoint accuracy, it's about identifying the country of origin. Consider the implications of using techniques like time difference of arrival, TDOA, to estimate the location of chips with an accuracy of 100 kilometers. It's a start, but it's not foolproof. Tim Fist, a former engineer and director of emerging technology policy at Washington think tank Institute for Progress, said such tracking would provide a general, country-level location for chips. What does NVIDIA have to say about all this? Well, they're staying silent. NVIDIA declined to comment for this story. But let's be clear, NVIDIA is at the center of this storm. Their chips are the most sought after for AI development, and they have a responsibility to ensure their technology isn't being used against U.S. interests. In NVIDIA's last fiscal year that ended on January 26th, China generated $17 billion in revenue, or 13% of the company's total sales. The pressure is on them to balance profit with national security. The question is, will NVIDIA step up and collaborate, or will they resist these new regulations? The answer has huge implications for the future of AI and U.S.-China relations. The urgency of this issue became crystal clear with the emergence of China's DeepSeek. Their AI systems posed a strong challenge to U.S. systems and were built with NVIDIA chips that were prohibited for sale to China, according to analyst firm SemiAnalysis. How did they get those chips? Smuggling. Prosecutors in Singapore have charged 3 people, including one Chinese national, with fraud in a case that involved servers that may have contained NVIDIA chips. This isn't just about a few isolated incidents. It's a systemic problem that demands immediate attention. This is not an imaginary future problem, Foster told Reuters. It is a problem now, and at some point we're going to discover that the Chinese Communist Party, or their military, is busy designing weapons using large arrays of chips, or even just working on artificial general intelligence, which is as immediate as nuclear technology. Of course, this bill isn't without its challenges. Preventing AI chips from booting up if they are not properly licensed under U.S. export controls would be more technologically complex to implement than location verification, but he said the time has come to begin discussions for both efforts. There's the issue of implementation, enforcement, and the potential for workarounds. Will smugglers find new ways to evade detection? Will these regulations stifle innovation? These are valid concerns that need to be addressed. Consider the potential to use trusted platform modules, TPMs, for hardware attestation, but this requires significant changes to chip architecture and software ecosystems. Plus, there is the risk of false positives, potentially disrupting legitimate uses of these chips. Let's talk about the economic impact. Restricting chip exports to China could hurt U.S. companies, including NVIDIA. But failing to protect our technology could have even more devastating consequences in the long run. It's a delicate balancing act between economic interests and national security. The economic consequences are not trivial. According to a report by the Semiconductor Industry Association, SIA, export controls could lead to a 37% reduction in U.S. semiconductor revenue over 3 years. The question is, can we afford to take that hit to protect our strategic advantage? The conversation surrounding chip smuggling will only continue to gain traction and will be addressed given the past actions that have already been taken to restrict access and the messaging that is surrounding this issue. While this bill will take at least 6 months to take effect, companies involved in both producing and distributing these chips should monitor this effort closely. So what's next? This bill is just the first step. The U.S. needs a comprehensive strategy to protect its AI technology. That includes stronger export controls, increased investment in domestic chip manufacturing, and international collaboration. This requires a multifaceted approach, including diplomatic efforts to pressure China to respect intellectual property rights and collaboration with allies to create a united front against technology theft. This is not just about one bill or one company. It's about the future of AI and global power. As Representative Foster plans to introduce this bill in the coming weeks, this effort represents another step in the U.S.'s efforts to both restrict China's access to advanced semiconductor chips and ensure that the nation maintains its competitive edge. Regardless of whether President Trump implements the framework for AI diffusion, the conversation surrounding chip smuggling will only continue to gain traction and will be addressed given the past actions that have already been taken to restrict access and the messaging that is surrounding this issue. This is a critical moment. The U.S. needs to act decisively to protect its AI technology and maintain its competitive edge. What do you think? Is this bill a necessary step, or will it stifle innovation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters. We need to have this conversation. Stay informed, stay engaged, and let's work together to shape the future of AI. By tracking the progress of this law and the Department of Commerce's potential regulations, organizations can understand what will be required of them and minimize any potential disruptions. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this developing story. This is just the beginning. The AI race is on, and the stakes are higher than ever.